Right now, I believe the entire world has awakened to inflation, anxiety, warfare, currency debasement, political and geopolitical turmoil, divisiveness, and a multitude of spinning uncertainties. Suddenly, people are becoming more aware. The flow of precious metals, which used to come to the United States from the UK and Australia and South Africa, has slowed down significantly. Over the past few weeks, acquiring precious metals has become incredibly challenging. In essence, the price does not even come close to reflecting the immense demand, which far surpasses what the price suggests. As one of only 27 authorized resellers for the US Mint worldwide, we have been in this business for 33 years. The past 2.5 years have turned everything upside down since the pandemic began. What's intriguing is something my friend Rick Rule often mentions. He's a prominent figure in this industry. He talks about metals ownership allocation in the United States, ranging from the Harvard Endowment Fund to the average person, being less than 0.5%. It's like a pimple on an elephant. What will happen when the elephant realizes the significance of precious metals and suddenly wants them? It will be game over. I've been saying this for the past 2 years. I've been pointing out that acquiring precious metals is getting increasingly difficult, while attracting clients is comparatively easier. This has never been the case before. The market will ultimately define itself by its inability to source precious metals. I've been saying this because I foresee this event mathematically, economically, and logically. I've faced some criticism for my views, with people claiming that I'm just promoting my interests. However, I'm simply observing what's coming. Yes, it's true. I see a situation where precious metals are disappearing as quickly as anything I've ever witnessed. It's quite concerning. I also believe this might be a precursor to what's coming next. Why is there such a rush to physically possess these metals? I think it's closely related to a growing coalition of countries challenging Western dominance. It's one of the most critical aspects of the current global landscape when you consider the Belt and Road Initiative with all 13 OPEC member countries involved, the BRICS nations, and the recent announcement that Saudi Arabia will join the BRICS. It becomes even more significant. These countries are the primary producers and consumers of commodities, and they hold the wealth. There's talk about creating a Moscow exchange that would cater to these countries, allowing them to set realistic prices for gold, silver, and other metals. This could lead to Western markets arbitraging directly to the East, causing a seismic shift in the pricing of precious metals. The Western dominance is being challenged by these nations, which have also stated their intention to create a world reserve currency pegged to various currencies and commodities. They are gradually bypassing Western markets, which have been suppressing prices for their benefit. The writing is on the wall. These countries are depleting the exchanges and taking metals to the East. I believe we'll wake up one day and witness a significant event that could be a revelation for many who have predominantly focused on traditional assets like stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. I won't be the one to say, "I told you so," but I've been encouraging people to open their eyes and look beyond the usual narratives. We should consider what's happening on the global stage and beyond our borders, as there's a gathering storm that poses a direct challenge to the dollar and will likely impact precious metals prices for the foreseeable future. When we reflect on 2008, it might have been wiser to let the financial system go through a natural correction. Back then, the Fed had a balance sheet of only $800 billion. Now, it's expanded to approximately $9 trillion in the past 12 years. While many believed that prosperity was just a matter of putting money into equities, they were correct to some extent. The Fed purchased $9 trillion worth of interest rate-sensitive assets, such as bonds and mortgage-backed securities, which kept interest rates low and created a facade of prosperity. However, this led to a substantial misallocation of resources and capital, resulting in a lack of price discovery. We now find ourselves in a situation where this distorted reality is starting to unravel. This could explain the large sums of money in the reverse repo market, reaching around $2 trillion. Banks are becoming hesitant to lend money to the public and prefer to park it with the Fed overnight for safety, rather than taking risks with the public. Banks are pulling back on credit, just as massive credit expansion and money creation created an illusion of prosperity. A significant contraction of credit and a pullback of funds from the public can have the opposite effect. Alongside these factors, we observe the large-scale extraction of precious metals from the exchanges. When you piece all of this together, you start to see that big money anticipates trouble on the horizon. They aim to limit exposure to the markets, reduce risk, and safeguard their wealth. In the process, they are using price suppression as a smokescreen to quietly accumulate gold and silver. This is why we've seen record insider selling during market strength. To be clear, the The biggest money in the world is quietly accumulating gold while draining the exchanges. The price suppression is part of their strategy. The main message is that gold and silver are not investments in the traditional sense. They are forms of wealth. These metals have endured through 2 world wars, German hyperinflation, the Great Depression, and pandemics. While remaining immutable, we are in uncharted waters, surrounded by uncertainties. But the safest place to be is aboard the 50-year-old gold and silver life raft. This isn't about getting rich. It's about positioning oneself to weather the storm heading our way. It's vital that people understand the importance of these metals as a means of protection. It's not about investing for wealth. It's about using these metals as a haven in the midst of the challenges we face. In conclusion, there's a massive shift happening. As the world awakens to a new economic reality, it's crucial for people to grasp the importance of gold and silver beyond their traditional roles as investments, recognizing them as a form of wealth protection in tumultuous times.